What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Hot Sauce, presented live on Friday, July 7th. EOS Hot Sauce recaps all the biggest EOS stories and updates every single week. And today I'm excited to talk to you about, of course, EOS EVM. We got incentive program blog and a new app, Collectify, enabling the EOS EVM. Q2 Messari report is out. EOS Go published a nice article covering the Block 1 class action that's currently ongoing and the other one that's about to start. Reminder to sign up for that class action. We'll be talking about more in the show, so stay tuned. Zysan and Haifa teamed up to host a DAO webinar. WharfKit updates from Aaron this week, as well as a nice story of how Zach Gall got onto the Wavect podcast. Let's get into it. Actually, before we get into our regular scheduled programming, wanted to just highlight a nice video I saw this morning, which is actually one of the most bullish videos I've seen on crypto in a long time. So I'm kind of hyped for it. Not directly related to EOS. Of course, we're talking BlackRock and their Bitcoin filing, but any big news for crypto like that is going to be a rising tide that rises all boats, no doubt about it. And so exciting for Bitcoin, exciting for crypto, exciting for EOS. So if you have 9 minutes, I'd recommend to watch this clip. Basically highlights the progression of Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, that has something like $10 trillion in assets under management, and his progression on his thoughts with blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin, talking about how tokenizing securities is one of the big opportunities that he sees in the future of finance markets, which is really awesome to see someone talk about reducing trading fees, reducing trading intermediaries, instant settlement with blockchain instead of this multi-day. Anyways, really exciting stuff for crypto in general. So I'm hyped up today. Wanted to share that with you guys. All right, back to our regular scheduled program. EOS invests in EVM innovation. A little blog post here on the developer incentive program that has been announced recently. The EOS EVM incentive program, EEIP, not only offers financial support, but also additional resources to assist participants with marketing and development. This incentive program is intended to further extend the ENF's mission to coordinate financial and non-financial forms of support for EOS, while also complementing other funding mechanisms such as the ENF Grant Framework, Pomelo, and EOS Network Ventures. So nice to see a little recap of what this incentive program is all about. As more projects embrace a multi-chain approach, this program ensures that EOS EVM remains a viable option for deployment for all of these projects. And as we've been highlighting over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of big projects enable the EOS EVM as an option within their app because it's so easy for them to do. So these incentives make it so that EOS EVM is definitely on the radar for any EVM compatible dApp that launches in the crypto space. The recent release of EOS EVM version 0.5 enabling DeFi liquidity incentives through Yield Plus further strengthens the ecosystem's potential. To be clear, Yield Plus is not yet activated on the EVM. However, this upgrade from a couple weeks ago makes it possible to deploy such a program. So there you go. Wanted to highlight this nice blog post, short to the point, gets people excited, gets people to fill out the form in order to apply for this funding if they're a dApp and interested in up to 50K in funding to build on EOS EVM. So there you go. So like I said, Collectify is one of these apps, not necessarily through this incentive program, but that has recently enabled EOS EVM. And what this app does is it's a promotional tool for NFTs, social media, run some contests, mint some NFTs for winners, draws, all the good stuff that we've been used to on EOS Native. Now Collectify enables this on the EOS EVM. And we see right away Math Wallet, which is another big application that has enabled the EOS EVM recently, is now leveraging this Collectify feature to run some giveaways. So you can win up to 200 USDT distributed to 20 winners. You got to connect your EOS EVM wallet. You got to follow Math Wallet and the ENF on Twitter. You got to verify your email, and then sometimes also do some transactions with a various dApp. Looks like the transaction here is basically connecting to your Math Wallet account, I imagine. But I'm sure we'll see more Collectify blockchain quests in the future for all of the EOS EVM apps that are live and that are going to be released in the coming months. All right. Moving on from the EOS EVM on to the state of EOS for quarter 2, 2023 Messari report. I think this is the second or third version or third one that they do every quarter, kind of updating what EOS is all about. A lot of on-chain metrics, price analysis, stuff like that. Key insights that they bring up this time that I thought was kind of interesting. 1 million TVL on the EOS EVM, we're aware of that. But what I wasn't aware of is the average of 5,100 daily transactions. So I don't know if that's really good or not. To me, it feels a bit higher than I thought. So I was pleased to see this number. They talk about the market cap decrease, but that's not special to EOS. It was a rough quarter in general for all of crypto. They talk about Upland, how they're the most popular dApp by active addresses. Again, no surprise there. They talk about the funding initiatives. 5.4 million of the 20 million fund has been committed. We don't know yet which dApps have received this funding. And then, of course, 160,000 to Pomelo. And then also talking about the near instant finality upgrade that is upcoming on the EOS native side of things. Some other stats to highlight that I thought was nice to see in this report. In the upgrades and roadmap section, like I say, they mentioned the version 0.5 that was launched recently, mentioned how it enables Yield Plus. They mentioned the Antelope IBC that was released in this time, and also the upcoming new consensus mechanism with the modified variant of Hot Stuff, BFT-based protocol developed by the Facebook team that was working on Libra, that has been modified by some of our best coders in the Antelope ecosystem. Very interesting upgrade, highly technical stuff that I'm not going to get into, but we've got Guillaume from the UX team that, from what I understand, has worked on this stuff. He's going to be joining us next week on the fireside. So if you want to ask your technical questions, your governance questions of what this enables, what possibilities can happen with this, timelines on deployment, how instant finality is going to impact IBC, dApps, our user experience, lots of stuff to cover. This instant finality upgrade is going to be a pretty big deal. So should be an exciting segment with Guillaume next week on the fireside, also known as Gnome for the people deep in the EOS community. And that's kind of, they highlight also about 200 daily calls of EOS IBC related contracts, average of 26 daily addresses. This seems a bit low, but again, applications have not really had time to implement IBC in meaningful ways since it was just recently released. But I would expect this number to go up significantly by the time we get to quarter 3 of 2023. All right, so that's it for the EOS Messari report. Now on to a nice article from EOS Go. Is Block One's House of Blocks crumbling? Nice little play on words there. The article basically covers a lot of the class action lawsuits that are ongoing right now. There's one that's ongoing, and then there's another one that the EOS community is currently considering starting. And so this article kind of covers what these two class action lawsuits are all about, why the community is so angry at Block One, because they basically rugged the entire community. And so, so this is a good article to share with friends if they're wondering why you think they should also sign up for this newest class action lawsuit against Block One. This is a nice article to share that obviously the authors are very well known in the history of the EOS community in terms of knowing their stuff, and also being great writers, so makes for a really solid article. So send it over to friends and family. Anyone that has been negatively impacted, or they think they've been negatively impacted by the false promises of Block One, can sign up for this new class action lawsuit. So we had actually a nice segment on the Fireside this week talking about exactly this topic. Rob Rigo from EOS Detroit was on the Fireside. He wasn't too aware on all the latest details and the status of all these class actions. And so he asked some questions. Eve gave some great answers. Eve actually shared a couple things I wasn't aware of as well in terms of financing firms. We'll get to that in just a bit. But basically, it's still very important to send an email to legal@eosnetwork.com. Let them know that you're interested in signing up for the new class action lawsuit that is in the works right now. So you don't need, this is not about how many tokens you hold. This is not about when you bought, when you sold, anything like that. It can be your business was negatively impacted because you made business decisions that were made due to the promises of Block One investments in the ecosystem. And when those investments didn't come to the ecosystem, your business suffered because of it. And so that's an example of someone that hasn't held any tokens, but still has a claim in this class action lawsuit. So for now, all we need is people to send an email to the legal team at the EOS Network Foundation and just let them know that you're interested in signing up. So I've shared a template copy that I found on social media that I used myself to sign up for this lawsuit. We shared it in the Discord. We'll pin it in the messages below. So you can just copy that, email, send it over. That's it. Thank you. Less than 1 minute. Just get your +1 out there for more people that feel that have been hurt by Block One's false promises and actions. All right. I don't want to get too deep into this. Don't want to get too emotional today. It's been such a good day so far. Let's keep it like that. So this was actually a nice piece of news regarding this lawsuit, in that multiple financing litigated firms are wanting to pick up this case. If others are interested, reach out at legal@eosnetwork.com. What is a financing litigated firm? Well, it's a firm that is willing to pick up the legal bill basically for the class action in exchange for a percentage of the payout if the class action is successful. So basically, a lot of people in the community have, rightly so, raised up the point of like, hey, how much is this lawsuit going to cost the network to run, in order to hope to get some money from Block One? And a lot of people feel that that may be a cost that's too high, and the potential positive outcome may not be likely enough to warrant that cost, according to them, right? Well, these financing litigator firms basically takes away a lot of the risk for the EOS community upfront in terms of these legal costs, in exchange for giving them a piece of the settlement, if there is one at the end. If there's no settlement, if the class action doesn't go anywhere eventually, well, at least the EOS network is not out of pocket expenses for legal fees. From what I understand, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not your lawyer, I'm not any, make your own research. Listen to the Fireside if you want to listen to Eve directly explain this, probably explaining it better than I am right now. But I thought that was positive development. I've sent my email, and I've been reaching out to friends and family that I've known that have been in crypto over the last 5 years. A lot of them bought EOS because they knew me, because I've been so active in the EOS space. So I've been reaching out to those people, giving them an email. Here's the template. Just send that over. Get your +1 in there. All right. Couple shorter stories to round out the show today. We've got Wharf Kit updates from Aaron on the Fireside this week as well. Basically, I just want to highlight that development on EOS Native is still going on and is still very exciting. And there's a lot of great user experience upgrades that are coming. We've been talking a lot about EOS EVM. Aaron said that he was happy to kind of just step back, work on Wharf in the background, and let the community kind of focus on EOS EVM right now. But they've definitely been working hard and shipping weekly updates on YouTube that you can see on their wharfkit.com site here, and also sharing some updates yesterday. Denis jumped in the conversation on the far side, highlighting that a lot of the Wharf Kit tech is being used to power some of the EOS, some of the features on EOS EVM. Not too sure exactly how that works, but basically, of course, the more performant EOS native becomes, that is also going to benefit the EOS EVM and all sorts of other things on the network. So good to hear that progress on that is still ongoing, and hope to hear more updates from Aaron soon. All right, Zysan, they hosted an EOS EVM webinar not too long ago. Now they're hosting a DAO webinar, partnering with, of course, Haifa DAO. And this is going on next week on Wednesday. So sign up now. I believe these are free. Pretty sure they are. And so sign up now, learn more about Haifa and maybe how Haifa can help your organization in the future. All right, our final story here. Zach Gall going on Wavect podcast, mostly Ethereum focused. But now that the EOS EVM is live, it gives these guys a great excuse and reason to invite Eve, to invite Zach over to their podcast, allow us to tell our story of hashtag the new EOS to the wider community. And so what I particularly enjoyed about this, although I didn't listen to the podcast, but Zach came on the far side, explained a bit about the story, how he got on the podcast. Basically, he was explaining a bit about the EOS EVM, the incentive programs that are available, blah, blah, blah. And then the host here of Wavec was like, hey, why don't we have this conversation on air, as a podcast instead of just off air? Let's make some content out of it. Scheduled for 30 minutes, ended up going an hour. They ended up talking afterwards even longer. So it's nice to see this organic interest in the story of the new EOS, in the potential of the EOS EVM. All right, that's it for today. Until next week, let's keep it spicy.